Fresh like I just got a contract. So, what's up, fans? How's everybody doing? We're back today. We got 2 podcasts in one day. We're here. We're live as Hoops and Brews. Live in your ear like Craig Mack with the flavor. As always, it's your boy TPJ. Find me on Twitter, Instagram at RealTPJ. That is ReelTPJ. It's a film joke. If you don't get it, you damn dummy. And as always on Hoops and Brews, man, please make sure you guys drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. I actually am sipping on a Modelo. I'm not gonna lie. Like, now there's nothing to do. I usually be like, if I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna wait until 6. But now ain't nothing to do. I'm like, I'm just gonna wake up and do the same shit again. So enjoying today, man. It's 90 degrees in beautiful sunny Los Angeles. Unfortunately, we cannot be outside to enjoy it, but we are here on the inside in the AC chilling. I got my homies here. I got Pavy as always. Pavy's here, co-star, rapper extraordinaire, Hoops and Brews. Go ahead, talk to the people.
What's up, guys, man? As always, follow me on Twitter at Pavyword. That's Pavy, word, all one word, Pavers.com. Make sure you guys go check that out.
Yes, sir. And today I have a special guest with me, the homie Dame Ritter. Super cool dude, music entrepreneur. Go follow this man on Instagram. He's always dropping knowledge, dropping gems for everybody. If you want to learn about the music business, go talk to this man. Dame, go ahead, talk to the people, let them know who you are.
What up? Yeah, man, Dame. Currently work. I founded the Music Entrepreneur Club, but I also manage artists, comedians to actors, YouTubers. So yeah, I'm excited to talk basketball because I'm normally on here talking music. So it's a good break from all the music stuff that we're typically talking.
Yeah. Most definitely. So thank you for, joining us. I appreciate it. As you guys know, we're always trying to get new voices, new people that we've never talked to before to be able to come through and talk basketball, because although the season ended, the hot takes have not stopped. As you guys can see, we still been having episode after episode after episode. So obviously we have a lot going on in the basketball world in terms of not knowing what's going to happen. But in the meantime of while not knowing what's going to happen, we've been able to take a glimpse back into the past and relive the Chicago Bulls dynasty with The Last Dance. Have you guys seen The Last Dance? I know, Pavy, you have. Dame, have you seen The Last Dance? What are your thoughts? Talk to us about, kind of how you feel about the entire documentary and what you've seen so far.
I love it. So yeah, I definitely watched it along with millions of other people that probably watched it right when it dropped. Growing up, I was a huge Bulls fan, and even though I'm from LA, I'm from the Valley part of LA. So when I was growing up, even in elementary school, the kids that got bussed in, they would always tell me that the Valley wasn't LA. So because they told me that so often, I was like, okay, I don't really feel like I'm a part of LA. So I adopted the Bulls, and I was definitely a Jordan fan growing up. And that's what made me not a Laker fan, because when I was younger, that's how we divvied up the teams in school. It was like, okay, bus kids versus the Valley kids. That's how we played ball. That's how we played basketball. That's how we played kickball. Mm-hmm. That's how we played football. That's how we played everything. So
crazy.
I was a big Jordan fan, and I love the documentary. There hasn't been too much yet that is like shocking info that didn't already know, but I think it's going to get a lot better in the coming episodes.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely do. I've been one of those people where there have been some internet screeners floating around, so I've taken a peek at some of it, and it is very interesting. But the one thing that I didn't know about the documentary was that it's not finished yet. So I think that even though, there are leaked rough versions all over the internet right now, I do think that what we're going to see on a week-to-week basis is not going to be what people have seen in the leaked versions, obviously.
Hopefully.
I think it won't be. I think because number one, I'm sure that it's like a lot of just like normal film color correction and stuff like that that'll be much better looking. I'm sure it's not the HD of the HD whatever, you know what I mean? So I do think that, it's a lot that we still have, been yet, to be able to see kind of the full beauty of it, which is something that I'm looking forward to. And I was really surprised to know that the series, that they hadn't really even finished editing everything yet. So I think even knowing that and kind of how things are going to flow and going to move, I think it'll be, kind of interesting, because I think we are kind of seeing a live version of history, if that makes sense, because they're kind of redoing this thing on the fly. Like, kind of originally with the timetable of next year, you have enough time to be able to kind of let everything kind of settle in. But yeah, you might have a few episodes done, but now the editors have to really sit down and every single edit they make, you know what I mean, is going to be ridiculed. Every little single clip that they use is going to be picked apart. I mean, it's so much that has been picked apart already from the first 2 episodes that I think it'll just be really, really interesting to kind of see where it goes. What are your thoughts, Pavy?
Like you said, I've seen the first 8 parts. It was cool. I feel like, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, because I did enjoy it. And granted, this might not even be the final version. Like I said, I've seen the first 8 parts. I just feel like after a while, it turned into like the Bulls through Michael Jordan's eyes documentary. And I came to see a Bulls documentary, not a documentary about the Bulls told by Michael Jordan.
Up.
And it was just like, it was like a couple of things when I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, that's not exactly how that happened. Like, I wouldn't know that, but that's because like I've went back and rewatched these series and rewatched these games. But like I said, it was a good documentary, and I think it was really informative. It's not more so about us and people who've seen it, like who remember the stuff. It's about the newer generation who didn't get the chance to play. Like, you got people who buying Jordans, like never seen that man play basketball, don't even know why they buying the Jordans. So I think for them it's very important that they watch this and just learn about the history of the game, and realize that basketball started before you. I think just in general, I think that it's always good for people to learn about the history of whatever you're interested in. I know that like it didn't just start when you were alive. So I think it was informative. Like I said, at like a certain, granted, it might not be the full version, but at like a certain point, I was just like, this is just like a Jordan documentary and like more about Jordan and the Bulls. But like you said, it may not be the finished version.
I mean, when they first introduced it to us, what did they introduce it to us as? They introduced it to us as a Michael Jordan documentary.
No,
the first time we saw anything,
that wasn't
the opening shot of the documentary is
that wasn't
MJ.
My impression.
The opening shot of the documentary is MJ. What did you think you was gonna get? If the opening shot of the documentary was Rodman, then I would understand you, G.
Nah, that wasn't my impression. My impression was obviously Jordan's on the team, so it's Jordan. But like, it was a documentary about the Bulls. Like I said, it might not be the final version, so I'm not gonna like go too in depth and say certain things I heard. But it was just like certain parts of the documentary where I was like, okay, but what did everybody else think? Like, I know what you think and what the writers thought, but like, what did everybody else think?
It don't matter. We came here to see 10 hours of Michael Jeffrey
I didn't
Jordan.
come to see 10 hours of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I don't want to see Jordan talk for 10 hours.
I did. I came to see. I literally,
if
they would have just had a 10-minute, if they would have just had a 10-hour-long interview with Mike that was just uncut, literally, it could be people farting in the background. I don't care. I want to hear that. All the stuff they talked about in that documentary, you're tripping. You're tripping.
I want to know what. Go ahead.
I've only seen the first couple episodes, but I thought it was interesting in the first couple episodes that it is Mike just talking for the most part, and he's able to kind of share negative things about other people when I know there are negative things about Mike. Are those things exposed through the documentary or not?
Yes.
You very clearly see that Michael Jordan is an asshole and that he does whatever that he wants to, do. That he competes very hard, that he's a bully when it comes to Jerry Krause, but I feel like Scottie Pippen was a bully when it came to Jerry Krause. So I can't just look at Michael Jordan and say he was bad. I disagree with. I'm sorry, I disagree with what you're saying, Pavy. I learned a lot about a lot of those guys. I don't really care how Jed Bushler felt about everything. I think that we got the perfect amount of Bill Wennington. We got the perfect amount of Horace Grant got a lot of screen time in.
I disagree with that. Like, look, throughout, maybe I want to say episode 1 through 4, it was cool, and then it's like 4 through 7, in which literally nobody besides writers talked for like an hour and 30 minutes. It was Jordan and it was writers, and I forgot the rest of the team existed.
You came to see Jordan. I'm sorry.
No, I did.
Yes, you did.
I did not come to see Michael Jordan.
He's the greatest player of all time.
I don't give a fuck.
Out of 10 episodes, you got 4 of the Bulls.
I don't care. I want
that don't
to
make
hear what
sense.
other people thought about what Jordan did. If you retire, why am I just hearing about Mike talking about you retiring? What does Scottie think? What the fuck did you think when you woke up? Do you want to know
why you hearing about it? Because we never knew what he thought about it before then. This is the whole point. He never talked about all the stuff in depth. I want to know what the rest
of the team talk about thinks about it too. And he did talk about it before. His interviews, him talking about why he walked away.
Not in the manner in which he's talking about him in these documentaries.
Yes,
they're like CBS, ABC puff pieces. Those aren't real.
Everybody else with their opinion too. I don't just want to come in and hear Michael Jordan talk. But again,
I want to see Mike hit the stogie and cry and use expletives. That's what I want to see. I came to see Mike hit the stogie, cry, and use expletives.
But again, it's not about me. For instance, like even when they was talking about when they was talking about Jordan's minutes restriction, right? They made it seem like the Pacers game was the last game of the season. It wasn't. Even in that game, he played 22 minutes, not the 14 minutes they said he played. He played 22 minutes. There was like 7 games after that in which he was off the minutes restriction. That didn't exactly happen like that. There was a couple other things that they had later on in the documentary that insinuated things happened in certain ways that didn't exactly happen in that way. But again, it's not about me. It's not about someone like me. I'm someone who went back and watched through all these games. I sit up all day and don't watch nothing but basketball. Most people don't do that. It's about the younger generation, and like I think the casual fan who may have not known any of this information, it brings it to light and just shines a microscope on one of the greatest dynasties that sports have ever seen, really, not just basketball.
So that season didn't actually end like that. That's super whack if they doctor in the documentary
No,
like that.
It did not end like that. There was 7 games left in the season. He had no minutes restriction for those 7 games. You can go back and look. Even that game, he played 22 minutes. They said 14. He played 22 minutes. It was 7 games after that. That wasn't the last game of the season. You can say the same thing
about Zion, though. Like you gon' but you gonna say the same thing about Zion in the future. We don't care if he played 14 games after he had the minutes restriction at first. We care that he was out for 2 months longer than he should have been.
Care.
He came back on the minutes restriction and they made the playoffs. G.
If that's how you presented it and it's not how it happened like that, what the fuck? You retelling history.
You're not retelling history. Did they not make the playoffs?
He already has a legacy that really can't be touched. If you putting extras on it, that's
how you putting extras? He only played 22 games the whole season. How you putting extras on it?
Because they made it seem like the Pacers game was the game that got them into the playoffs, and he was still on the minutes restriction that game. He was, but he played 20. They made it seem he played 14 minutes. Yeah, but that was
probably the best game that he had over that stretch.
Listen, he played 22 minutes in that game. There were 7 to 10 games left in the regular season after that. They made it seem like that was the game that got them to the playoffs, and the next game was Boston. That ain't what happened.
Did he play as well in those other games after that as he did in that game? If he didn't, then that's why they highlighted it.
Yes, he did. He had 30 points after that.
Okay, but also what you also have to think about when you telling the documentary, you trying to hit points of drama. So if that's a point of contention in which Michael Jordan's trust falls apart with the organization, who gives a fuck about the 7 games afterwards? If that's the day that they had the argument when all of it happened, they still made the playoffs. We know they made the playoffs.
I'm cool highlighting the drama, but if you change in history or
I don't feel like
doctrine things, that's not cool. That's not big. Are we gonna do that for LeBron?
No, I feel like I feel like when I'm watching it, they flash forward to the future, and the future is them playing Boston. Like I don't think that was the last game after that.
They made it seem like that was the last game of the season, though.
Exactly.
I thought it because I wasn't.
Okay.
I don't know what that was like. What
86. 86. I went back and looked at the game log.
I'm not gonna remember a game like that. I was only 6 years old, so I don't remember the details. So watching it is like, I'm thinking that's how it went down. That's whack if they're changing or changing the narrative like that. In my opinion,
I woke up the next day and I looked at the game because I was like, damn, like I didn't know that man played that game and then just went straight to the playoffs. I looked at the game log and I'm like, yo, it's 2 fucking weeks left in the season after this. Like you don't have to, like you said, Jordan's legacy. We'll talk GOAT, but like Jordan's legacy is what it is. It's when you talk about when you talk about being great, people say, yo, you're the Michael Jordan of this. If you rap really well, you're the Michael Jordan of rapping. You're the Michael Jordan of whatever the hell. So you don't have to add extras and dramatize it to make it look even great. It's great. It's great.
All right.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, there are other moments like that throughout the documentary that we don't know if it's finished. I don't know. I saw a screener part, so we don't know if it's finished. But there are other parts that kind of annoyed me to hell because I'm like, that's not how it happened. Or either that's not how it happened or it happened like that, but you didn't tell the full story. So if I'm a kid watching this, it's like you just like even more extra dramatized Jordan's greatness. It's like, you ain't got to do that, bro.
We have 10 hours to tell a story which lasts 13 years, G. There are some parts that have to be truncated, and that whether you want to know more as a fan, maybe they might have some supplementary podcasts which go with more in depth into each of those moments. But you got to understand, 10 hours is already long as hell, G.
I understand
How
what you're
much
saying,
more
but
in
you
depth
can
do
add
you
these,
want them to go
like,
on the things that
I
they went
feel
in
you.
depth on?
I feel you.
We're
But I'm not
seeing
even talking
stuff
about going
we've
in
never
depth.
seen before.
I'm not even talking about going like again. When you continue on with the documentary, I'm not even talking about going in depth. You could give me 5 to 10 seconds of saying like,
But
yo,
also, I
this
feel like that's the
happened
point
here.
of it as
And
well.
then-
It's the point of it is for you to go back and look at it. It's like, hey, this is what happened. We're highlighting what happened. Now go back and look at it so that way you can like see history. Like that's the point of these things.
I'm surprised you're supporting this, Thomas.
I am because as a filmmaker,
we don't accept this just in like the telling of our Black history.
You accept it in every documentary you see. In every documentary you see, some part of history didn't happen the way they told it in the documentary. They truncated it to make it. Huh?
That doesn't
you
make
only
it
have
right.
so
I'm
much to
fine
tell
with
in the
you.
story.
I'm fine with like moments in time being truncated because you don't have enough time. I'm not fine with you not telling the truth about anything. Unless you tell me this is just not the truth. This is just a story and we made it up.
Was that the game that put them into the playoffs though?
Huh?
Was
that the game that put them into the playoffs though?
Not exactly, no.
Was it the game that they were out of the playoffs and then when they won the game they got into the playoffs for the first time?
I have no idea.
That's probably that's what I'm saying. So if that's what
I don't know.
So if that's what happened, then they're not mistelling history. They're saying this is the game that happened where they finally got into the eighth. No, because I think right after that it shows like them getting into the playoffs and them like being the eighth seed. It's basically
they lost
saying
like 5 games after that.
You still,
they
but
lost
it
like
doesn't.
5 games
It
after that,
doesn't
then won like
matter.
3
It doesn't
games
matter
after
if you lose your way into the playoffs. You still make it to the playoffs.
But again,
am I wrong?
But listen. Again, the way they told that is like that's the last game of the season.
That's the game in which when you finally got to the playoffs. Yes, it is,
that, bro. They played. They made it seem like that was the last game of the season, and literally the next time he stepped on the court, he gave Boston 49 off the minutes restriction.
You nitpicking.
That's not nitpicking. That's like no.
You're nitpicking. You know that they move into the playoffs, G. It is. I'm sorry, it's nitpicking.
Like no.
It is, bro.
No,
it is.
That
G.
makes the story even more. Like, bro, like G. Can you imagine?
Then no documentary you've ever seen is right. Then, like, this is what I'm saying. These are unrealistic expectations, bro.
No,
yes,
I
it
just want you to
is.
tell us the way how it
You're
happened.
nitpicking. You are nitpicking, G. You're nitpicking, G. They made the playoffs after that game. They made the playoffs after that game. They not lying. They not fucking lying. They made the playoffs after the fucking game. It's not a lie. It's not a lie, though. It's not a lie, though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If they lost several games after that, then that means they could have fell out of the playoffs unless everybody that was in contention lost every game after that as well. Like it's possible.
Yeah, but if they still made the playoffs, they made the playoffs. If they still made the playoffs, and that's the thing you're trying to highlight is like the game in which he had the minutes restriction, he trying to fight the game when they finally break over.
They were wrong. He played. They said he was a 14 minutes restriction. He played 22 games. Not 22 games. 22 minutes in that game.
Yeah.
They said he was on a 14 minutes restriction in that game.
Huh? They said that he was on a 14 minute minutes restriction. He played 22 minutes in that. I'm about to pull up the game log right now. The game that he came back was the game that they talking about against Indiana was
the fact that I'm standing up for ESPN right now is hilarious, by the way. But I just personally I didn't take issue with that. If it's a lot of other things in the documentary that I take issue with other than that, because to me you're not retelling history. They still made the playoffs.
He played, which
was their whole point.
He played actually 28 minutes in that game, then 31 minutes, then 31 minutes, then 33 minutes, then 37 minutes, then 39 minutes.
Yeah, okay, that's out of. I mean,
he
to me,
scored,
that's out.
He scored 26 points in that game, 30 the next, 26 the next, 30 the next, 31 the next, 29 the next.
All right, I understand your beef. I'm not upset with that then.
Like, you made it seem like he literally was on administration with 14 minutes played. He scored 22 points in 14 minutes. The season was over. The next game, you played a big bad ball of Celtics. Give them work. That's not how it happened.
But it's not even necessary. It's not even necessary to do that with this man's legacy. It's just not, especially when I see how much other players are scrutinized. Well, I mean, it's a different time. I get it, but Jordan's the man. We don't got to do that with his legacy.
For instance, I would just like say this one thing, right? There's a part when they're talking about like the '92 finals, right? Remember in Game 6, the Bulls were actually down, I think, 16 points. 16 points going into the fourth. The bench with Michael Jordan and the rest of the starters off the court. Scott Williams and Stacey King caught fire. They cut the lead. The starters check back in. They win the game. Yeah, everybody's happy. At the Pistons, when they talking about it, they just show like Jordan's fadeaway. That was like the bucket to like put it over the edge, like y'all not coming back. They just showed a picture of the fadeaway and then the score. So anybody who's watching that is just gonna insinuate the fact that like this was the game when it shot. You made no mention of the fact that the whole bench went on a 16-0 run in a Bulls documentary. That shit ain't important.
No, it's not, G. Nobody cares. That's the minutia of the game that you, as a historian, a person that covers basketball, cares about.
It's a fucking documentary telling history. What the
I
fuck?
watch championship documentaries and I be looking like, yo, this ain't exactly how it happened, but it's still in the championship documentary. You only have a certain amount of time to tell a story. That's the whole point. They're not going to put every single detail in there. Nobody gives a damn about the bench going on a 16-0 run. They don't care about that, G.
Give me 10 seconds to say, yeah, the bench, man, they came through big for us, and then like, yo, we closed it out. You can't. That shit don't take long. That's like fucking 3 seconds.
We don't care about the bench.
If you were playing and you were part of the bench and you weren't acknowledged in the documentary, I'm sure you would care. You'd be like, hold up, I was in the game. I scored a few crucial buckets that brought us back from 16 down. We just shouldn't have to do that. Jordan definitely doesn't need that. We know that he played with a team, but we're just building on his legacy to make it seem like he's this, God with no flaws, and he's got the best legacy. So we don't need to do this. And Thomas, you're right. Like both you guys are right. People that have never seen Jordan play are getting to see him for the first time, but they're getting to see, like a perfect person, and that's just not who he was. So then they're gonna be like, "Oh, of course he's better than LeBron."
But that's the problem I got with that assertion that you see him as being a perfect person, because you see him lose, you hear him talk about him losing. I think in those moments, like, they still lost that series. Like, I think the point of all of that was like, yo, he was
also
going full throttle.
In fact, he scored 19 points in Game 3. I'm just saying, maybe that was something that was supposed to be left out. But literally, they made mention that he scored 49
like I said,
in Game 1.
You're having an argument.
They made no mention to the.
You're having an argument. You're having an argument as an NBA writer and not as someone who they expect to be a casual fan of basketball.
But
that
again,
has never ever.
What did I say? But again, Thomas,
all of this exists though. You can. Gee, that's like watching 12 Years a Slave and being like, it didn't happen exactly like this. Like, shut up, G, and just watch it, G.
Huh? It was a fictional story.
No, it's not a fictional story. It's based on a real story. What you mean?
Okay, whatever.
Everybody got perspectives.
Are we supposed to receive this documentary as like a movie that's like based on because when you say based on a true story, we know that
we're supposed to receive this documentary.
The base might be true, but what's built on that is a whole bunch of fabrication. So are we basing?
No,
so are we comparing this?
It's
saying
there.
That this documentary is 12 Years a Slave like?
No, the history is there. It's literally there. You can go and you can literally look it up. It's literally a book about it. But if you are trying to tell a small portrait of this story, yeah, you don't care about the 10 seconds that random B writer that has no charisma, that can't talk about nothing, or whoever talking about whatever. Maybe they might have talked about this with 100 people and nobody actually physically mentioned the bench. So then we don't even have a clip of that. So I'm a voice over it over in there. They don't like. That's what I'm saying,
how
G.
Do you leave that out of the?
Go back and rewatch it. The point of all of this is for it to refresh the public's memory. You are a basketball writer picking apart the minutia of a documentary that's meant for the casual fan. It's meant for a casual fan.
Listen, this is why I started my whole statement out. What did I say? It's not about me, cause I know what happened. I've seen these games multiple times. I sit in my free time like other people watch shows. I watch old basketball games. The whole shit with the fucking commercials. So it's not about me because I know way too much. But even still, when you tell things like that, like for instance, if I had a son, right, and I watched this documentary with him, and they did it, I'm be like, you know what? Nah, bro, we got to go. I'm going to show you. Because this didn't happen like this.
But that's the point. That is the point for you to go back and for you to rewatch it. For you to get a truncated version of it, for you to see a glimpse of it and go back and do that.
Everybody is not gonna do that, and you insinuating things that didn't exactly happen.
No, I'm not. What is the point of a documentary if it's not for people to sit and watch so that way they can learn about something that happened before and go back and learn more about it? That's the point of a documentary. It's to inform you so you think about it more after you finish with it.
But you also think that whatever is in a documentary is like set in stone, like that's it, that like it happened the way it happened. It's human
beings talking about their perspectives. You think everybody gonna tell the truth and be honest? You ever watched the old Motown documentary? It'd be like four of them saying different things.
Name a documentary that just inspired you to go like deeper and find more detail. Most people just watch a documentary and think they got the story. It's not to trigger some longer research exploration. You watch the documentary like, oh, okay, cool, I got it. It doesn't.
Yeah, but you still got the point, which was that Michael Jordan was hurt. He was on a minutes restriction. He didn't like the fact that the management was holding him back and not allowing him to play. They wound up making the playoffs regardless of him being on a minutes restriction. He dropped 69 against Larry Bird, and Larry Bird 63. Thought he was 63 against Larry Bird. Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, all of them thought he was a god, and then they lost the series, and then we move on to the next years of them getting their ass whooped. That's exactly what I got from it, and that's exactly what happened. The minutia of it doesn't matter. The kids not gonna care about that. They barely care about the man now. They look at the man like he a meme.
Care. And like,
but this is going. But this is where you spark that. They don't care about the bench players. They care about Michael Jordan. That's what I'm saying.
Because that's the issue, bro. That's I just take issue with. Like if it's granted, it's a Jordan doc, then that's fine. But this is presented as a documentary about the Bulls.
This is a Michael Jordan documentary. That's what you not understanding. You thinking it's about the Bulls. Nobody cares about the Bulls. The Bulls are literally like the Beatles without Paul McCartney or without what's the name of the other one? John Lennon.
Also why I say this is also why I say the Bulls are not an iconic franchise. Michael Jordan is iconic, and he played for the Bulls, and he's so much bigger than what the Bulls organization is. This is also why I say
you won that point. You finally won that point from. But you know where I got you winning that point from? The documentary, which I'm sure didn't tell me every single thing that I needed to know about the Bulls before Michael Jordan got drafted. But I got enough to know that they was a shitty. That was the point, though. They showed me enough of that for me to get that. And now that I understand that, you are right about that point. That's what I'm saying.
I was flabbergasted why you guys were arguing me. Like Michael Jordan is so much bigger than what the Chicago Bulls are.
Because the Bulls still have some decent players playing for them, but that doesn't mean that their organization was a class organization. Huh? What you mean? They got retired jerseys. That's my point, bro. Not every NBA.
As the Knicks, the Sixers, like
what have the Knicks done? What have the Knicks done since the 70s?
They have the most.
They ain't done nothing. They ain't done nothing. They ain't done nothing since the 70s. G. What have the Knicks done since the 70s? Since Walt Clyde Frazier was playing.
Patrick Ewing played there. Hall of Famers. Melo was there. He gonna make the Hall of Fame.
And you you gotta like move because you got like like your physical positioning because it's like a bright streak going down your face. But G, nobody cares about the Knicks. G, turn your computer. Nobody cares about the Knicks. Who cares about the Knicks? Who cares about the Knicks? Michael Jordan got more history in one finger than the whole Knicks.
Michael Jordan, the Bulls.
And guess what? Michael Jordan was a part of the Chicago Bulls, so therefore his history is the Bulls' history. It is. It is. I disagree with Jordan's assertion.
I was under the impression. I mean, obviously Jordan was going to play a majority of the role and maybe even talk the most in this documentary. But I was under the impression it was going to be a Bulls documentary, and not a come fly with me.
Likewise, bro.
It is. But Damian, who do you want to hear talk the most? You watching the Bulls documentary? Who do you want to hear talk the most?
I for sure want to hear Mike. The people you hear most are Mike. Fan, though, so I'm not just a
Yeah, but the people you hear most are Mike, Scotty. Yeah, but you hear from everybody.
Talk that much.
You hear from Mike, Scotty, Horace, Bill Winnington. I saw Will Perdue in there. I saw Jed Bushler in there. Steve Kerr was in there a bunch. Phil Jackson was in there a bunch. What?
But listen, bro. There was points in times in which outside of Phil and Mike, you didn't hear no other player give their opinion on nothing.
That's all that mattered, bro.
No, it's not, bro. Scotty is a legend too.
Gee,
you can't name 25 more players.
Tilt your camera up, son. Tilt your camera up, son. Tilt your camera up, son. Tilt your camera. Tilt it up a little more. There we go.
Name me 25 players more famous than Scottie Pippen. Ever.
What does fame have to do with anything?
He a famous motherfucker. People know Scottie. People want to hear Scottie talk.
G.
Rodman. Name me 25 more people more famous than Rodman. You don't want to hear Rodman talk?
See, this is I can't talk to you about this because you just don't understand documentary making, and I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that, G. I really don't. Because the point of a documentary is you find one subject, you hone in on that one subject, and you use that one subject to tell the story of all the other subjects around it. Michael Jordan is the subject. The Last Dance, this being Jordan's last season as a Bull, is a subject, and the reason why is Jordan's last season. No, but wait, no. It's not though.
I thought it was about the Bulls.
It's not, but it is about the Bulls.
Michael Jordan is about everybody.
Is Michael Jordan not on the Bulls? Is he not the
rest
star?
of the on the team too?
All right, bro. I'm sorry.
Was he the only one who didn't come back?
We can agree to disagree on this one. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that one.
I'm sure you know more about documentaries than I do, but I've seen quite a few documentaries that don't follow the format that you just laid out. Matter of fact, they just got a basketball documentary on Netflix about the prison basketball team in San Quentin, and that doesn't.
How many episodes is that?
It was like 8. Well, no, it was just 1.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They doing this across 10 parts. So they just building around specific moments. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying every single documentary ain't like that, but usually the majority of them, they are just following one person and you seeing everybody's perspective surrounded on what's happening. One person or one event. The event for this documentary is the Bulls' last season because Michael Jordan is not going to come back and play if the coach does not come back and play.
Coming back and playing. It's not just Jordan. Nobody is coming back. But Scotty's contract is coming back.
Is not the point of the documentary.
Nobody is coming back.
The point of the documentary is to tell this story through the eyes of Michael Jordan and this thing being over because Michael Jordan is the face of this thing. And all of the other ancillary parts around Michael Jordan that hold this thing up are collapsing around him, and that's what you see.
In Chicago, G, the last thing wasn't about always Jordan's last season. It's the Bulls. They're not coming back. The Bulls aren't coming back.
Yeah, because Jordan isn't coming back.
Oh shit, if Jordan not coming back. It's the Bulls aren't coming back.
If Krause said he was firing Phil Jackson and Jordan said he wanted to stay, Jordan wasn't leaving. Krause even said in a documentary that it upset him that Mike was choosing to leave the Bulls if they didn't hire Phil back, but he didn't want Phil back, and he wasn't upset if Mike left because they were getting older. Not gonna
be back. Rodman got gonna be back. The whole Jordan would have been back. Nobody else would have been back. That's why it's the last dance. Nobody's coming back. Even if Jordan do stay, nobody else staying with him.
As an organization, they had the opportunity during that span, and that's what you learned from the documentary. That's what I learned from the documentary, is that during that span, they had the opportunity before Scottie Pippen requested his trade, which was in November. The season starts in November usually, am I wrong? So before that, they had the opportunity to if they wanted to, retain Phil Jackson, and then Michael Jordan said he was coming back, and re-sign Scottie Pippen if they wanted to on a better deal. Scottie was upset and requested a trade because they still had not given him an extension or a re-up on his deal, and they were going to let his deal expire. But all of it falls with Michael Jordan. If Scottie Pippen say he coming back and Phil Jackson say he coming back and Mike say he ain't coming back, nobody gives a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Nobody cares, G. We just going to see the Bulls after that, and come on, man.
Here's where we differ, because Krause even said also in the documentary, we worry about all our aging stars outside of Michael Jordan. The team is aging that's not named Michael. We don't necessarily know if you want to bring these guys back. Krause wasn't bringing Scottie back because he didn't think he was worth the money that he wanted. He got $15 million the next year. He wasn't worth no fucking $15 million in 1999. He got that deal because he's Scottie Pippen. So when nobody
and you're
coming
the Bulls
back,
franchise, and if you were a franchise that was loyal to your players, you would give your player that money. We've seen organizations do it, but the Bulls and Jerry Reinsdorf, as we know from living in Chicago, is notoriously stingy with his pocketbooks unless it pertains to the Chicago White Sox.
They're not stingy with their pocketbook. It's like Jordan means this. You not basically, in their mind is you not Jordan. Even with the Lakers, yeah, they were loyal to Kobe. They gave Kobe that deal because nobody's Kobe. Nobody is Jordan. Pau fucking Gasol wasn't getting that goddamn treatment.
You making my whole point as to why this documentary is surrounded around Michael Jordan. If you still see if you still see a Kobe documentary, and they want to talk about the Lakers, you still gonna see all the other Lakers talking about Kobe, but the documentary is about Kobe. This was about Mike to me. From the moment that they announced the first clip, the first shot I ever saw was of Michael Jordan basically saying, yo, you want the real lowdown? I'm gonna talk about all of it. Whoop, 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 whoop. And everybody that was like a Bulls fan and a Mike fan, like, oh shit, we're about to see Mike sit down for 10 hours and talk shit, and we're about to see how evil he is.
My impression was they showed Mike, obviously, because it's fucking Mike, but it was like, yo, this is a Bulls documentary.
Then why they didn't start with just showing the whole team then? Why didn't we just see the whole team?
Because it's more theatrical to just show Jordan. And I think the next shot was Scotty in the doc. Next shot was Scotty and Rob in the field.
Them the ones you hear from the most in the doc, which is why I just find it interesting that you have a problem with that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just personally didn't take that away from that. But speaking of the GOATs, Damian, we had this convo via text. You told me that you are a LeBron fan. So speaking of GOATs, and obviously now this whole GOAT conversation is reopened again. I feel like it's like a sore that just won't heal. You know, you keep trying to put some Neosporin on it, it's not going away. Is LeBron the GOAT? Tell us why LeBron is the GOAT, Damian.
LeBron's my favorite player, and I personally feel like he's the best player I've ever seen, but I don't think he's the GOAT. It's hard to have these conversations, and I try to avoid them, because I feel like you need to have separate conversations. It's hard to compare across generations. You know, I was watching ESPN the other day, and Jason Williams was basically saying how I feel in terms of like how players develop, you know, how bigger, stronger, faster they are. If LeBron played in Jordan's era, I feel that he'd be running all over those cats. Like if Russell Westbrook played, I mean, who's going to stop Russell Westbrook?
He would, but you don't think Jordan would be doing that today? You don't think Jordan or like guys like Akeem would be doing that? I mean, would be capable of doing that today? That's just an honest question.
No, I feel like they would be good players, but I don't think they would be as impactful as they were. Okay. I mean, because you just had, like, Jordan was ahead of his time just in terms of his physique and his athleticism. I mean, when you go back and look at those games, let's look at the frame on those cats. Like, look at the frame. Like, I know that they could play. I know they have fundamentals. I know that they could shoot. I'm not saying that they were bad players. But look, it's the same thing to me in football. It's like, look at the physiques of the cats that played football 20 years ago, 15 years ago. You know, it's 30 years ago. These guys today would run right through them guys. I mean,
yeah, but there's certain guys like the Bo Jacksons of the world that would still be as great. I mean, they were physical freaks. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like a Michael, a Wilt, those guys would still be physical freaks. No? You don't think so?
There's like one guy, whereas now you have so many. Like, who's going to defend Giannis? Who's going to defend Anthony Davis? Like, these guys are just bigger, stronger. And then, you know, the old cast will be like, well, you know, we could hand check and the game was more physical. Imagine LeBron being able to hand check. Like, you wouldn't go anywhere. Like, you would, like, he's 6'8", 260. So I'm giving GOAT to Jordan, you know, because of what he did in his era. Like, you know, LeBron has had too many, like, what the fuck moments. Like, what was that? But if I'm building a team today and I can pick one player and I don't know who else is going to be on my team, I'm picking LeBron, no doubt. He just has way too many skills. Like, he's just an all-around, like, to me, he's the all-around best player that I've ever seen. You know, but Jordan had athleticism that other people didn't have. He had a team around him. He had Phil. You know, it's the same like Tom Brady. Tom Brady may not be the best quarterback ever, but he's definitely the GOAT because he has the rings. But where would he be without Belichick? Where would he be without, like, he happened to get in that system. If Jordan, like, got drafted to the Sonics or something, I don't think we have the same legacy. I really don't think we have the same legacy, but we can't change that. So Jordan, given what he did, and winning 6 titles without losing, you know, I don't think LeBron can compare with that legacy. But in terms of, like, best player, like, I would definitely, even if they played one-on-one, I feel like LeBron would beat him. Like, it's just a different game in a different era. And when I look at those guys, like Kevin McHale, look at his frame. Like, you telling me, I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm just saying Giannis would back him down and dunk right in his face. Like, I just don't see how anybody could refute that. And I know it's just opinion based, but it's like
I argue on your behalf as well. So
Are you agree or
No,
disagree?
no, 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 no. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I think like I told Pavy, I think Giannis is the greatest power forward ever play already. Because he's 25, he's already 2-time MVP, and I think that like no one in any
His
era can
face is
stop that
like, what the
man.
fuck?
Nobody in
Like,
any
what
era
the
can
fuck?
stop
You
that
just
man.
took this shit
Nobody
too
in any
far.
era can stop that man. He
Too
is.
far.
Nobody in any era can stop him.
Yeah,
He's
but here's
already better than like Duncan.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's tough to give him better
He
the
about to have
best
two
ever
MVPs.
already.
yes, but also here's
I don't
my
think
thing.
he's
When I also
greater
look at
than. I
that,
don't think he's greater,
yes,
but I
but
do think
also
he's a
when I
better
look at
player.
yes, but also to that point of obviously like this is also why I hate that conversation because obviously you can only do what your game allows you to do. For instance, you take guards back in the '80s. Can you imagine if you can't hand check Isaiah and he just get to like dribble in front of people with the fucking floor spread? He goes to the rim, don't have to worry about getting knocked out. Who knows what he would do? Can you imagine if Larry Bird could take 8 threes a game? Who knows what he would average? So like same time it goes both ways. Like in some of these other guys' eras, I feel like they were kind of handicapped by it. Can you imagine if young Shaq get to play right now? You trying to play small against Shaq? How the fuck is that gonna work? Can you imagine if I don't know who else was? Hey, Kevin McHale, even Kevin McHale. Can you imagine him posting these like posting basically guards because they switching everything? He getting 20 points. So it's like it goes both ways, but also I like as I get older, I hate the who is the quote unquote GOAT conversation because it's like you said, it's very hard to it's hard to compare eras. But obviously when you're having this conversation, you have to talk about legacies. If you talk about legacies, obviously what Jordan meant to the game of basketball and just to not even game, sports in general. Sports in general and fashion and just lifestyle, like the world doesn't look the same without Michael Jordan. And then what he did on the court, you can argue with his resume. Like, I mean, obviously everybody has slights that you can, put against people. Like LeBron, you can say the East was weak. Jordan, you can say he played with expansion. So it's 27 teams in the league. You go up to 30 teams. I think it was like 25 when he started. You go up to 30 teams. So now you got a lot of picks who would have ended up in other places that end up spread across the league, which makes the whole entire league weaker because teams that used to go 10 and 12 deep, now they only go 7, 8 deep because you done took some of their best players off the bench. Like if you take a Rick Mahorn away from the Pistons, that mean a lot for the Pistons. If you take a Andre Iguodala, somebody away from the Warriors, who would probably get picked in the expansion draft, that mean a lot to the Warriors. So everybody has slicing at Magic. You could say the West was weak. When he was playing, for the most part, the only real competition he had was the Rockets. And that was for 2 years, and then Ralph Sampson got hurt. So everybody in a single era, you can like take stabs at him. But for Mike, when you just look at Mike's legacy, the reason we consider him GOAT is more than just his own court play. Like even look at what he, like I said, did for the game of basketball. Jordan shoes. People didn't go and buy shoes every single year. Like even the way that he changed the way athletes got marketed. Like NBA players got marketed. Even what they talked about in the doc. Which the only reason I knew was because I watched the ESPN what's the a love story of basketball documentary. They were talking about the way Michael Jordan even changed sports marketing, huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
But it's why even the way Michael Jordan changed sports marketing, like he got marketed like a tennis player. You didn't see that beforehand. So that's why it's so much more besides just what he did on like the basketball court. Like contracts don't look the same without Michael Jordan. Everybody needs to thank Michael Jordan. Like we probably not even doing this show without Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than just what he did on the court that you can't argue with that.
Well, even just like remembering watching Michael when he played, the difference between watching him and Bron, it's like when I was watching Jordan, towards the end of the game, you were just thinking like, well, how's he going to do it this time, right? You were just kind of like, okay, we know they're going to win, but when I watched LeBron, it's like, I'm more like biting my fingers, like, yo, what's about to happen, like, because he does have a lot of what the fuck moments that I can't even defend him sometimes. But overall, like I said, if I'm building a team and I get the first pick and I don't know who else is on the team, I'm for sure taking Bron because I know that he, can uplift an entire team pretty much by himself.
I'd take Jordan, but I feel you.
I'm taking Kevin Durant. Because I feel like I gotta put less around him to get it to work.
You wild as hell. You just like took this in a whole different direction.
No, I
There's
didn't.
so many people I'm taking before Kevin Durant.
Nah.
And I love KD. Shout out
taking
KD.
KD.
I fuck with KD hard, but I'm taking
People
before Kevin Durant.
I'm taking KD. I'm taking
Shaq. I'm taking Magic.
I'm taking KD, Shaq,
Hakeem.
Tim Duncan. I would
Duncan
take Hakeem,
before KD.
Giannis.
Are you taking all these? Wait, are you saying, are you building your team, or are you
No.
taking all these
I mean,
people
I'm just saying before Bron. Personally, I am personally.
Wow.
I'm taking Giannis before Bron.
Yeah, I'm taking Giannis before Bron. Giannis a 2-time
Wow.
MVP before he's 26. So let's get it. We in the building.
All right, bro.
We in the building.
So if you put KD on LeBron's Cavs team, take LeBron off, obviously. How successful do you think they'd be? Huh?
Which one?
The ones prior to Miami.
And where's LeBron going?
Why does it matter?
No, okay, because he's LeBron. He's in the league. It matters where he going.
Yeah, okay, put him in the West.
Where? I'm just saying, if you gonna give me a situation, I gotta know where Bron going. It matters.
Going to the championship.
If Bron is in the East, then it matters.
No, I'm saying he goes West. I'm saying take LeBron out of the East, he goes West. You think KD takes that Cavs team?
Yeah, he took in the East. Who can stop him? Nobody can stop him in the East. LeBron's problem was he always would run up to a team that defensively presented more ways to stop him than he had ways to score. Kevin Durant is Pandora's box. I mean, what you gonna do once you open that up? I saw that man. So look, I got these on the wall right here from going to the games. I watched that man drop 50 on Patrick Beverly head like it wasn't nothing. It don't matter. It don't matter.
50 and lose, you gonna make the team better,
man. Though? Yeah. What? Come on, man. Come on. KD and Kyrie not gonna go to the finals. They already want to play with each other. That's a match made in heaven.
No, this was prior. I'm talking about the Cavs team prior to Kyrie. So prior to Miami.
So
prior to LeBron going to Miami, you think KD takes that team to the championship?
He could. I think he could. I think the toughest task that he would face would be Detroit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if he beats Detroit. I think Detroit might stop him every year, but I think he's good enough to be able to get his team. Pav, you got to tilt your camera up. I think he's good enough to be able to take his team to the NBA Finals. I do. I think Detroit and Ben Wallace and Tayshaun Prince and that front line. Because the fact that, the matter with Detroit is like, not only were they long, but also like they had heavy defenders. Even they had Antonio McDyess at one point in time. These are heavy guys. It's going to be leaning on KD. Tayshaun Prince is long and lanky. Sheed ain't no scrub. Ben Wallace is down in the paint.
I don't think Wallace was there yet.
He wasn't there yet?
I think he left.
He left?
That's why they lost, I think. I'm pretty sure Ben Wallace left.
Oh, well then, yeah, we going to the finals. I mean, all we got to do is worry about Boston. Once Boston get to be in their run, but Bron had to worry about Boston, so you had to worry about Boston regardless. If KD can't beat Boston, so what? Bron barely could either. He didn't either.
Next year, so next year is KD and Kyrie for sure going to the finals.
Hell yeah, easy. They gonna have so much fun playing together. Like I mean, even a young Kyrie instantly helps Kevin Durant.
They're not going to the finals.
Yes,
unless
they
get some defense, they're not going to the finals.
Yes, they are. In that East, who's going to stop them other than Boston?
Yeah, I mean, shit.
If KD on your team, you looking at it completely different anyways.
The Bucks still going to be there.
If KD on my team, the same player's not there, though. That's what I'm saying.
He's still going to be there. He's still going to be there. No, I don't think that KD could do, because I think that KD can score for himself, but I don't know if he can pass, facilitate. And also, KD, we got to remember.
Disrespect for him.
But he can't pass like Bron.
He can't pass like Bron, but he can pass well enough to be able to get his team to the finals. I've seen him do it before.
No, and also
he's done it before. It's a fact.
With who?
With who? With OKC.
When he had much better teams than what LeBron had in Cleveland.
See, now we're gonna get to this better team argument, and I don't want to get to this better team argument.
What the fuck do you
because then let me reconstruct the Cavaliers then. Then let me reconstruct the Cavaliers then. That's what I'm saying. Y'all hypothetical arguments don't be making sense. Y'all want me to put somebody else on a whole other team.
Or Serge Ibaka's. Ain't no Russell Westbrook or Serge Ibaka, which is on that team. And also,
he wasn't dropping 25 in Seattle.
And listen, also Kevin Durant is not the defender in which LeBron James is. The reason those Cavs teams worked was because they were good defensive teams. Kevin Durant has never been as good of a defender as LeBron James was throughout the first 13 or so years throughout his career. Teams,
but a 7-footer not gonna be good. A 7-foot small forward not gonna be decent on that team. KD couldn't play no defense well enough on that team. Come on, man. I don't like these arguments. Y'all wilding. You wilding.
Playing on the wing, not like Bron. KD, like G. Where has KD made an all defensive team?
Who can stop him in the East?
What all defensive team has KD made?
He don't need to make an all defensive team. You just told me that the team was good defensively. So all I need him to do is just go out and play out here. So Bron made the team good defensively. Bron made a whole team good defensively.
He helped.
Bron made a whole team good defensively.
Obviously, he got, but he helps.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of
Don't
here.
help.
Steve Kerr was still teaching Durant how to use his team like 2 years ago, or like 2 years ago.
Yeah, because Steve
Like,
Kerr running a triangle hybrid.
But what
You running a triangle hybrid. You running a triangle hybrid with two of the greatest shooters of all time, but you want me to be the main scorer. But there's also another guy that's the main facilitator on the team that ain't the two guys.
On the 07 Cavs.
I don't care about that. You asked me a question, I gave you an answer. Just because you tell me you don't agree with my answer, don't mean my answer wrong. It just means it's my answer, goddammit. You asked me if he gonna get to the finals. I'm telling you, yes, he is. Period. End of story. He gonna get to the finals. I think he's that goddamn good. Just because you disagree with it don't mean it's wrong. It's a hypothetical argument.
It's fair. I bet you allowed to have your opinion. I'll just wait and see if KD and Kyrie can make it to the finals. They're gonna find a way to mess it up.
His resume ain't nothing to sneeze at.
I personally don't think they're gonna make it next year. The reason I don't think they're gonna make it next year is unless they add some more defense. I think they gotta add some more defenders. I think they need some more wing defenders and maybe some more. I need to see LeVert play defense in high pressure situations before I comment on what his defense is. I know Spencer Dinwiddie's a solid defender, but I just think that they need some more defense. I think they need one more wing defender. If Taurean Prince can step up and be that guy for them, then I like their chances. But I don't think next year is the year for them. I think maybe the year after.
For them to make the finals, or you talking about for them to make the playoffs?
Finals, bro.
They're not making the playoffs.
Make the playoffs.
I'm sorry. They're not making the finals. They're not going to make the finals.
You just said they were.
Oh, that's what I asked.
What you mean? You asked me how the Nets going to make the finals this year?
Next year.
Next year? No, they're not. But he tore his Achilles. If we talking about young KD, yeah.
Oh, that was my whole question. I was asking you if Kyrie and KD are making the finals next year.
Oh.
And you said yeah.
Oh, I mean, no, they're not. They're not, but it's because Kyrie Irving isn't as good as he used to be. He's a better all-around player, but if he physically can't go as much and as hard as he used to be, he's not as effective. And that I think is the biggest issue for them. And I think what you see a lot of times is teams load up on him and then he can't do anything. And then you say, yeah, with KD, but there was still a defense for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. So you can't tell me that there isn't a defense out there for Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, if that makes sense. I also don't think that they have a center that's good enough. I don't think that their power forward is good enough unless KD gonna play the 4, which he probably will, but the 3 is not good enough. And I don't think that Karis LeVert, I like Karis LeVert a lot, but championship, I don't necessarily know about that. And they only go 6 deep right now because I don't even know if Joe Harris is going to be there next year. I think they might trade him or he going to be gone. So I don't think they make it next year. But if he hurt, but if we talk about KD in 2000, whatever KD, you know what I mean, 3rd, 4th year KD, 5th year KD, 6th year KD, yeah, they going to make it. But
So then Kevin Durant's done winning championships unless they like completely
he tore his
Achilles. That team.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles. He's not gonna win another championship unless he like the sixth wheel on another team. There's no way in hell he can win a championship. Yeah, I'm for real. He got to be like the 6th man on another team. Kevin Durant might get another ring at like 2026 or something like that. He's not gonna win one on his own.
Okay.
How? Literally, how? Giannis is there. Pascal Siakam and the Raptors are still there.
That's why we were so confused by your response when I asked that question.
I thought you were talking about in comparison to LeBron's Cavs. My bad. I didn't think you were talking about this year's Nets. I thought you were talking about would Kevin Durant make the finals on those LeBron's Cavs, not on the Nets. I thought you said that year, not this year.
No, so that was the initial question.
Okay. And then you changed it again. Okay, my bad. All right. Well, I mean,
because he had a better team, because the Nets is a better team than the Cavs were. That the 07 whatever Cavs, the Nets
I don't
team
know
currently
about
is
that.
without LeBron. I'm just talking about the Cavs.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The supporting cast, you could argue, but also the thing about those Cavs teams was that they were always teams. They played team basketball. It wasn't literally only LeBron or bust. And I don't think it will only be KD or bust. I think Kyrie adds a different dynamic. Him just being on the floor, you having to account for him at all times, whether it be him dribbling or him playing defense. And also sometimes, like, I always know KD wants to play, but sometimes I wonder if KD feel like being the GOAT. You know what I mean? I always know Kyrie want to be the GOAT, but sometimes he just can't quite put it together when he need to. So I think that's the kind of guy KD needs. That's the kind of guy Steph is. I think Steph is one of the GOATs. But when he needed to pull it together on his own, he couldn't quite necessarily do it. So he needed a Kevin Durant to come and help him to kind of get back to that level that he once achieved when he played a wounded team. So I don't think that he could do it this year because he's coming off an Achilles tear. I don't think he'll ever do it again. Literally, he's going to be if KD, the only way he ever wins a ring again is if he's a sixth man. There's no disrespect to him. I think he's one of the greatest to ever do it, one of the greatest to ever play. But how? Literally, how? How? He can't. He's not going to be Giannis in the series. It can't happen.
I think that it can. I just think that for one, KD needs to play again. I've said, man, I think the KD need to look at the way that they use Dirk and be utilized in the same way that the 2011 Mavs use Dirk. But I think the thing that they do need is defense. You don't need any more offense. You have KD and Kyrie. That's it. And they sleep. That's 50 points between the two of them. You need defense. Obviously, Kyrie isn't the greatest defender. So you need backcourt defense and you need wing defense. If they can get backcourt defense and wing defense, I think they got a shot. Not next year, but maybe the year after when they gel. I think they realistically got a shot. I do. I mean, I don't think KD tearing his Achilles is going to alter his game that much. Reason being is, for one, he got the best doctors money can buy. He rigged, so he got the best doctors money can buy. Two, his game is more predicated off skill and athleticism anyway. Like, me tearing my Achilles don't stop my pull-up jumper. It don't stop my, like, turn-around fade. Like, it don't stop these things. It may make them go a little bit slower because I'm not at the same, speed I once was, but I'm still shooting over anybody. So it's not like, he's a jumper tearing his Achilles. Like, he's like LeBron at 27 years old tearing. Then that would be, like, catastrophic. But, like, he's a, skilled player, so he'll be fine. I just think that they need defense. Like I said, I don't know about LeVert's defense. I haven't really seen it in pressure moments. I like Spencer Dinwiddie's defense, but I don't know if that's the guy you want off the bench. Like, I just think that they just need defense. Literally, I think all they need is defense. If they can sew up a way to get defense to make sure that KD and Kyrie don't have to depend on them defensively. As long as they don't have to depend on KD and Kyrie defensively, I think they got a shot. You know who I think would be great for that team, but it's never gonna happen? Draymond. I think Draymond would be great for the Nets. It's never gonna fucking happen, but I think he'd be great for the Nets.
The other thing you gotta worry about is The other thing you gotta worry about is just their heads. Like, I just wouldn't trust a Durant and Kyrie led team. Like, they just haven't proven to be the best leaders. Like, I
think that's why you got a guy like DJ on the team. Like, I mean, you may laugh at it, but I think that's why I got a guy like DJ, a guy who's been around the league for a while with veterans, seems to be a fun-loving guy, can take the edge off. First of all, he seems to be friends with KD and Kyrie. So I think that's like that. That's why you got a guy like that. And also, we got to see what coach they get next. I think the coach they hire is very, very important. So, yeah, I think there's things that you can do to offset, the fact. Like, I don't always think the leader needs to be the best player. I think that people get that confused. I don't think that that's what it needs to be. I think the only
But he also can't be the one that's a distraction or causing problems with burner accounts or just saying stuff out of pocket. Like, just what did he say that Spencer was mad at because he said they needed more and Spencer was
Kyrie
pretty
said
much
that.
Yeah, and then because Spencer was pretty much assuming, well, if he's saying that, he's assuming I'm not going to be on the team next year, right? Like, you can't have your team self-destruct like that. That causes problems in the locker room, and it's just not going to work. Kyrie hasn't been the best leader or just team player over the past 3 years or ever since he's left the Cavs.
Pavy, you ain't got no response to that?
I'm not worried.
I mean, not like I hear that, but I mean, even when he went back and like talked about the comment, when he actually spoke about the comment previously and not like right after the game, could he have used better words? I think the thing where he could have used better words was by not naming players. Like, if you just say we need more help, well, I mean, obviously, yeah, you do, because like Kevin Durant is out, so like, yeah, that's obvious. But then when you go and name, like, we got Joe Harris, we got this guy, we got that guy, we got this guy, and then leave people out, then that's when it's like, oh, you didn't say my name, like, yo, what the fuck you saying about me? But at the same time, like, I actually don't think people take that as seriously as we do. Like, I don't know what conversations they might have had off camera, and in the locker room and on team flights, like, I don't know what conversations that they might have had. But obviously, I mean, Kyrie is is Kyrie even 28 years old yet?
I don't think so.
Like 27, he's still in his 20s. Like again, like we'll see. I think a lot. Like I said, I think a lot depends on what coach they hire. But do I think they can make the finals next year? No, because coming off Achilles, I don't think so. Okay. But I do think that they can make one maybe in the coming years, a year after, a year or two after. Like who knows? We'll see, depending on what they do with their roster.
But let's move on to the last topic. Last topic are name your starting 5 greatest NBA underachievers. Who wants to go first? Anybody? You go. You want me to go first? All right. So how do you guys want to do this? You want to just do 5, or do you want to do like point guard, shooting guard, small forward, that kind of thing?
We can name 5.
We can name 5? All right, cool. So my 5 are number 5, I have Vin Baker. I just feel like Vin
from 2000?
Huh?
From 2000?
What you mean? No, I thought I'm just naming players. They just asked me to name players.
No, you said from
no. I mean from the 2000s on. From the 2000s on.
So define your underachiever again, because I know when you text me,
a fan submitted this question. Yeah, a fan submitted this question a question at the end of our last episode, and he asked us to if it would be possible for me to have us named our top 5 NBA underachievers. So I was just trying to so I think he's talking about guys that should have been like the best or whatever, but wind up just not achieving what they should have achieved, or were vastly underachieved, or not as good as they should have been. So
okay,
I'll do mine. So I got Vin Baker as number 5. Number 4, I got the guy that Michael Jordan is notorious for drafting. Kwame Brown. Number 6. I'm sorry. Not number 6. Number 3. My bad. Excuse me. Number 3, I got Latrell Sprewell. That man, ever since not only did he choke the coach, but also the I have a family to feed thing. When you got a contract coming up where you could potentially, make millions and millions and millions of dollars, and kind of really jeopardize all of that, especially knowing that you had choked the coach. Like, it wasn't like Spree had that contract opportunity before he choked the coach. He got it after he choked the coach and was still talking about like $22 million or something like that wasn't enough, for him to play for, and then pretty much never got a contract again. Number 2, I have Tracy McGrady. He's a guy that I think should have been better. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Pavy tells me, he loves to tell me, and he loves to compare Tracy McGrady to Kobe Bryant. And I always tell him to stop doing that, because I think that it's disrespectful to Kobe. Because I think Kobe
got hurt.
I mean, even when he was healthy, he never got
out.
He never got out of the first round. It's not disrespectful.
Real quick. I just want to cut you off there, because even like I would go back and watch T-Mac stuff, and it's like he really got hurt at like 23. Like, even when he was with the Magic and losing the first round, he was fucking 23 years old. Like, he was 23, bro. Like, we don't know what T-Mac would have done if he could have actually been healthy and got to play a healthy 8 years.
I disagree with that. I don't think the end of his prime was healthy, but he had a prime. He had a solid 5
4 years in Orlando.
Huh?
Those 4 years. Those 4 years.
He had a 6-year prime. He had a 6-year prime, which is more than guys like Derrick Rose can say. So I don't want to hear that. He vastly underachieved. I don't care how old you are. Magic Johnson won the goddamn championship his rookie year. Okay, I don't want to hear that.
Kareem with him his rookie year.
I don't care.
He just had that whole argument. First round. He had Kareem with him. He had Norm Nixon. He had Jamal Wills. Also, Magic Johnson joined the team that made the second round the year before he got there. T-Mac signed with the Magic, and then Grant Hill couldn't play. So you had a whole Magic contract who can't get on the court.
Get out of the first round. You can still get out of the first round. I done seen this guy who's number 1 on my list get out of the first round a lot of times. Now, the second round, I have not seen him get out of. And although he was very nice to me this year, and like I said, I'm not going to slander him anymore. This is not slander. This is a fact. Chris Paul. In 102 career playoff starts, he has 50 wins and 52 losses. Not rocking with that at all. He does have 45 double-doubles and 2 triple-doubles. But how is it that you have 50 wins and 52 losses? This guy that you tell me is such this transcendent player. I don't believe he is. So I'll let you guys go ahead. Pavy, you go next. So let Damien go last.
I think my first guy on my list is Rudy Gay. I thought
Okay.
Rudy Gay would be much, much better than what he actually turned out to be. Like when he came out of college, I thought he was like the future of the small forward position, and it just didn't exactly work out like that. Number two, OJ Mayo. Um, I mean, I think anybody who knows anything about high school basketball, going back to like the mid 2000s, like OJ Mayo was that guy. OJ Mayo was ranked above anybody you think about. He was ranked above him. And now he got suspended for drugs. I mean, he went. He had some decent years in Memphis, even had played decent with the Mavericks, but he just never really became, I think, what everybody kind of expected OJ Mayo to become. Um, that was two. Number three, I'm gonna go with just had somebody. Oh, Tyreek Evans. Tyreek Evans. Like after winning Rookie of the Year, you just kind of like. Now, granted, I also think that the Kings kind of
Oh, I
contributed to his
forgot about
fall
this
off.
guy.
I also think that the Kings kind of contributed to his fall off. Reason being is the fact that they kind of moved his position around a lot. Like they had him at, point. He wanted that point guard, and they moved him to like forward. They moved him to like off guard. It's like just keep the ball in his hands. So, but still, what happened happened, and I got to put Tyreek third. Number four, I'm gonna go with Michael Beasley, just because like I don't think Michael Beasley was ever bad. Like
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Beasley had years in which he averaged 18 points.
Yeah.
He got a big contract for Minnesota. Like he got like 50 million for Minnesota. I actually thought the Bulls should take Michael Beasley over D Rose. And Michael Beasley just never quite became exactly what I thought Michael Beasley had the potential to become. And for my final spot, this is tough.
You sound like LeBron. I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach.
Final spot of who underachieved. Um, you know what? Even though I like this guy, and he's still young, so he has Andrew Wiggins.
Yes,
He's
I was.
still young.
Yes, I
think
was
he's-
about to say him. Thank you for
I
saying
think
it.
I think that Andrew Wiggins is good, no doubt. I think he's good. I think he's a quality NBA player. I think he'll have a 12-year career. But for the standards people put on Andrew Wiggins, he hasn't lived up to those standards. I don't think he's a bum. I think Andrew Wiggins is a really good player. And granted, I still think he has time to make an all-star team here or there. But for the standards that people put on him, like as he was the next like superstar guy, he hasn't become that, and he hasn't shown that he's going to become that. But again, I think he's a good player. But like when you say what people thought Andrew Wiggins was gonna be, he hasn't reached those heights. So I'm gonna put Andrew Wiggins at my final spot.
Damien, he loves Andrew Wiggins, so I'm sure it hurt him to say that. It was like drowning one of his own babies. But go ahead, Damien. Who are your guys?
You guys picked some good ones. I'm gonna have to think about this. Let me go one. Let me go J.R. Ryder. I don't even know what happened to him.
I like
really.
that.
I just knew that
I
just knew I liked him, and he was balling for a second, and all of a sudden he was out of the league. So I'm gonna go.
That's kind of how it went.
So I'm gonna go with J.R. Ryder number one. I'd have to say Grant Hill because I was a Grant Hill fan, and I know that he could have had a hell of a career if he would have stayed healthy. Grant Hill number two. Let's go with Brandon Roy. It would have been nice to see him play out his career. Trying to think of people that you guys didn't pick. Who else? Brandon Roy. My final one was I know I'm still on 4. I like the Chris Paul pick. I gotta put Melo in there.
I was thinking
Okay.
Melo.
Gotta put Melo in there because Melo came out with LeBron and he was supposed to be a cat that could carry your team, and I never thought he was somebody that could carry a team. I always thought that he would be like a really good number 2. So compared to what his expectations were versus what he actually did in the league, I mean, he definitely has a Hall of Fame career, but he was supposed to have a couple rings by now. And I never saw it in him, but they put him up there with LeBron. I think probably just because they came out at the same time. Shit, who would be the last person? The last person I'd throw in there. Shoot. Maybe like Larry Johnson.
Who?
Maybe I put Grandma Mom
I like
there.
that. I like that. Pick.
Okay.
put Grandmama in there because he's another cat that kind of just fell off. I don't really know what happened. Um, so that would be my five. So who did I have? I had Grant Hill, Brandon Roy, Isaiah Ryder, Mello, and Larry Johnson.
I like that. That's a great list. That's actually a really good list. Those are actually names I wasn't expecting you to pick. So that was actually, hey, good job on that. I like that list. Those are all names that I can't even like debate either. Yeah. So man, Dane, thanks so much for coming through. We definitely appreciate you for taking the time to come through. This is Hoops and Brews episode number 191. We've done 191 of these. I wonder how many episodes we've had a
Zoom
guest.
for our 200 one.
Yeah, should we just get everybody, every single?
We should get like one big ass Zoom and
Yeah,
do a Zoom.
all right, let's do it. Let's just get everybody to join in via Zoom, and there's just gonna be a Hoops and Brews Zoom. Everybody get to talk, say what they want to say. Actually, can we make a Zoom link like public so that way whoever can join in?
Can.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have one gigantic live Zoom party for episode number 200. We're about 9 away. So we're trying to get more guests out there. So shout out to all of you all out there that are watching, that are listening. If you're interested in coming on the show, feel free. Send us an @ on Twitter. Find us on Hoops and Brews. We might be interested in let you come on, talk basketball. If you got a basketball background, even better. We are looking for more writers and people like that to come on, entertainers and stuff. So if you guys out there are fans as well, if you see our stuff, feel free, hit us up. We will be interested in having you talk, and whether you are a level 1 basketball fan or a level 10 basketball fan, we're always welcome to the conversation. We appreciate all of you all for watching. As always, if you're over 21, you better not be fucking drinking. Don't do it. It's wrong. As always, if you're over the age of 18 and 21 in America, 18 in Canada, as always, do not drink and drive. Do not drink at all if you're under the limits as well. Today I was drinking a Modelo. And yeah, man, we definitely appreciate you. Dame, go ahead, talk to the people, let them know where they can find you at.
Sure. You can hit me up on Twitter, Dame_MEC, or on Instagram, Dame.MEC. I'm typically talking music stuff, but I love ball. I still play ball, so I'm always down to talk hoops as well.
All righty. Thanks, Dame. Pavy, go ahead, get your plug in, talk to the people.
As always, man, follow me on Twitter at Pavy World, Pavy World, all one word. Make sure y'all go check out that heater. New record just dropped today. You can find it on either of our socials. Make sure y'all go check that out.
I'll put it in the description as well, so make sure you go get that, check that out, stream that, get that ASAP. And as always, man, we appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us at Hoops and Brews, and make sure you subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/HNB. Every dollar helps, keeps us going, especially through all of this coronavirus madness. And when the NBA comes back, hopefully we will be back with it as well. Until next time, I will get up with you all. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been Hoops and Brews. Dame, thanks for tuning in and joining us. Pavy, until next time, we will get up.
Like I got a contract. Moving through the city, we be going. Roller that you pulling, now you know it. Fresher than a max contract. Pulling up, we walking, and we walking in the back. Fresh like I just got a contract. Fresh like I just got a max. Roller this, we ballin' to the max. Fresh like I got a contract. Moving through the city, we be going. Roller this, you pullin', now you know it. Fresher than a max contract. Pullin' up, we walkin', and we walkin' in the back.